be here today and giving us a good insight on real examples of what we need to do. The discussions we had today surrounding career and technical education, industry and business partnerships, and apprenticeships lets us know that there is a positive work being done to address the skills and gap in this country, and it's a huge problem. It is on us now as lawmakers to deliver on these solutions, reauthorizing WIOA with meaningful improvement, strengthen the investment of career and technical education, funding through Perkins, and funding our states is something we can do right now. Having the perspective of an employer, a community college leader, a CTSO, and a nonprofit showed all of us today the way we can work together to give us opportunity available to our students and our constituents in the labor market. States across our country are using strategies that work for them, and it is time we all catch up to build our country's reindustrialization and grow our economy through American workers. Today, for any senator wishing to ask additional questions for the record will be due by 5 p.m. today, Tuesday, December 23rd. Once again, I want to thank all of you for being here today. And this, come on in. Well, we hadn't adjourned yet. Come on in.
You hadn't?
No.
I noticed.
No, yeah, come on in. Yeah. All right, Senator, you're up. But we'll wait on you. Take your time.
I very much appreciate it.
Yeah, and thanks for coming.
Mr. Chairman, thank you for holding the hearing open today and for holding it at all. I am actually not a member of this subcommittee, but a member of the full committee, so I especially appreciate the courtesy of being allowed to ask some questions. Look, Wisconsin has a wonderful technical college system. It provides valuable education and training to countless students and receives Perkins funding every year to support their efforts. I am really glad that we're having this hearing, but I also need to spend a minute on this administration's continued effort to dismantle the Department of Education really at whatever cost. It started with the secret move of career and technical education at the Department of Labor, that move. But now the administration is moving the vast majority of K through 12 and higher education programs to the Department of Labor. These programs dwarf the programs that the Department of Labor currently administers in both size and in scope. At least with the career and technical education, CTE, there is some kind of natural connection to the work of the Department of Labor, although we have seen a lot of implementation problems since its move there. But the Department of Labor has no experience administering the vast majority of these other programs now being transferred to it. We're talking about programs for early elementary schools and teaching young students how to read. We already know from the CTE interagency agreement between education and labor that states saw delays in funding and the absence of important guidance. We also know our states now have to deal with 2 agencies instead of 1, 2 payment systems instead of 1. We also know that this is costing taxpayers over $1 million extra for labor to do education's work, just for CTE. Transferring significantly larger and more complex programs will only create more problems for states, school districts, and schools. None of this is reducing bureaucracy. It's creating more of it. I worry this will cause problems for impact aid schools and TRIO grantees, just to name a few. So I have many concerns and questions about how this would work, and this administration seems to have no interest in explaining it. Moving these programs isn't in the administration's budget request, and the Secretary of Labor has not testified to how she would carry out these programs that are being transferred. Immediately after these latest agreements were announced, I reached out to Secretary Chavez de Remer. I've followed up since and cannot get a call back. This administration has no interest in justifying or explaining what it is they're doing because they don't have good answers to any of these questions. And Secretary McMahon is not stopping with these programs. She said just last week that she will be transferring more programs to other agencies, and we know only a few major responsibilities are left, including special education programs like IDEA. We know that their goal is to eliminate the Department of Education altogether, so we can only assume that they will be moving those few remaining programs too. I hope my colleagues will join me in voicing their concerns to Secretary McMahon and joining me to press pause on these abrupt changes as soon as possible. We've passed law after law authorizing and funding these programs at the Department of Education. All we want is the administration to follow the law. Now, onto a question. This week, the Department of Education is engaged in negotiated rulemaking for the implementation of Workforce Pell. I have been a supporter of expanding the use of Pell Grants to high-quality, short-term job training programs for a long time. A traditional four-year baccalaureate degree is not always the best path for every student, nor is it the only way for students to get good, high-paying, family-supporting jobs. Well-administered short-term job training programs can lead to these high-quality, high-paying jobs for American workers. However, I have deep concerns with both the process and policy of the department's rulemaking. It appears that the Department of Education is attempting to conduct the negotiated rulemaking for this policy in just 5 days. I'm concerned that this rushed timeline will lead to implementation that lacks the necessary guardrails and accountability to protect students. And without those in place, we could easily see a rise in low-quality, predatory programs that do not properly train students or give them the skills necessary to obtain a good-paying job. Mr. Ryan, in your opinion, what guardrails should be put in place to ensure taxpayer dollars are not going to exploitative programs that do not prepare students for high-quality success?
So I think there's both guardrails and accountability, Senator. So first, in terms of guardrails, we need to ensure that states have the information that they need to build programs that align with good jobs. Essentially, we need clear standards for quality so that we can prevent students from engaging in programs and both wasting their time and money that do not lead to economic opportunity. I think guardrails would also help states to implement Workforce Pell along its education and workforce continuum. Specifically, Workforce Pell will work best when it integrates with existing programs like career and technical education, WIOA-funded programs, as well as registered apprenticeship and 2- and 4-year degree pathways. We need to ensure that there are clear definitions and ways in which states can engage holistically as they integrate Workforce Pell within these existing systems. We also need to ensure that there's clear accountability for 2 reasons. The first is it's critically important that taxpayer dollars fund programs that have outcomes for young people and adult learners. Second, we need to ensure that employers have confidence in the credentialing system. Clear accountability would help ensure that businesses hire with confidence and invest more heavily in our post-secondary education system.